Sixth Sense. We've been dead all along.
All right, we're live now. We're live. Hey, we're back and better than ever. So, welcome to Smoke and Barrel. We're gonna start with what are we drinking today? Because I just poured Nick from General Cigars. He's the regional manager for General Cigars. He's like the man. And the president is Carolee Martin beside me. I'm just Brian. I'm from Smoke and Barrel. T. Crocker, cigar extraordinaire. Charlie, Whiskey Tango Charlie, Charles Wilkerson. So Charlie, what are we drinking now?
This is
Strong.
Yeah, there's.
Woo!
is
I don't think it's strong at all.
Balcones. Balcones. It's a Texas. It is a single malt whiskey. So this is all malted barley. So it kind of follows in a single malt. We had the rule, a while back, which was local to Charlotte.
Yeah.
I wanted to break this one out because I brought this one special because one, I'm getting ready to go to Texas, so I want to get myself ready
Yeah.
for Texas. And secondly, is because when I read the
I knew it.
I read the report on this when you said what you were bringing, and it said the cigar aficionado, and I read the very first line. It says the Diablo here is the most powerful, full-flavored cigar in the entire General portfolio.
See, I knew it. When I took a sip of that I
And
was
I'm
like,
like-
and I still haven't taken a breath since. I was like, Charlie hates me. Hateful Charlie.
Everybody's hurting each other's feelings today already.
All right, here we go.
You know what?
Relationship goals.
So get past the shock to palate, and it'll be fine.
I still can't get.
I think it's
still-
smooth. I disagree.
sweet.
I don't think it's.
It's like drinking
hateful.
an electric fence.
If you like
I mean,
Scotch,
it just keeps.
hits all the good notes.
It really does. I mean, we're right back to those
That's
floral
what it is.
notes again.
No.
Where
That's
we were
exactly
with the
what it
Rua.
is.
It tastes like
mean-
a Scotch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a quality problem to have.
So it really does, Nick. Thank you. It really does. It follows the exact same thing as Scotch, except what they're doing is they're taking the single malt and they're putting in new charred oak barrels versus used ones. So you get a lot more of that flavor punch. And obviously they don't in Texas they don't let it age as long. I think that's about a 2-year age.
And they're
It's-
probably not getting. Are they distilling it in Texas, or are they
Yes.
buying juice from someone else?
It's theirs.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is aged at least 24 months in oak.
Yep.
I'm feeling faint.
Waco, Texas.
Waco, Texas. So it's a true deal. So anyway, that was the thing. That's
It's a beautiful thing at 4:00 in the afternoon.
I feel like I need to clutch my pearls.
All right, you scamp. What are we smoking now?
So, it's been a while since
It's-
we've visited my Diablo. And I kind of wanted to see where you were at, because we hit you with the Diablo right out of the gate. And I want to see how you feel about it later. So it is an Ecuadorian Sumatra Oscuro wrapper, the Connecticut broadleaf binder, and then you've got Hunter and Nicaraguan Habano filler. So it is, you're not lying. It packs a punch, no pun intended.
yeah.
But
It's kind of strong.
anybody who knows me knows this is my cigar. I love this cigar. It is my happy place. I measure all other cigars off of this.
Well, see, Charlie liked the bones.
Yeah. So
You
I
love
mean,
the
like
bones.
you're.
No,
you're
I saw
getting
the
there.
shirt.
It's
I
gonna
was
take
like-
the shirt right off your back.
I was
won't
gonna-
be weird
I was
at
gonna
all.
trade with you right there, but
We'll get
yeah,
you a Smoke and Barrel shirt to replace
this
it.
was what was really funny was when I first lit this up, I was like, oh no, and it wasn't there. So y'all have
We've changed your palate.
you have
It's a beautiful road that we've traveled.
yes
We've killed those taste buds, so it's not going to bother you anymore.
yeah.
You're just going to twitch a little bit.
He's over there on the first light up going, and I'm still doing that on the second and third on this drink.
That's fun.
Woo!
Wow.
Guess when gas prices get high enough, we just throw this in the tank. We'll be all right.
There you go.
They're high enough.
Oh
So
my God.
we can start using this.
Regular, unleaded, or single malt?
Woo!
Thank you.
Just fill her up.
I
Yeah,
feel it
really.
like on the side of my tongue. The very tip, and then just on the,
There's like a little caramel thing going on
right
too.
on
which
the
I like.
edges
What
of
you
it.
gonna eat?
But just stays there in
Hey,
the middle for
nothing.
me. It's just a caramel
Yep.
taste. Oh yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
it's-
this is awesome. I don't.
So you get some of the Scotch nuances, but you obviously get that coming over from the oak barrel, the new one, the char. So you really come with some of the
It's a
the
hybrid.
bourbonness.
Yeah, it really does live between those worlds.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised at how the
And-
darkness of it
and-
if it hadn't been aged all that.
Yep, and the
long.
Japanese whiskeys have
Yeah.
have a more, I guess, Highland style Scotch kind of vibe to it. But this definitely, to me, this is a great gateway drug for guys that want to try Scotch but are afraid to go
Well, it
deep.
comes out of the same aisles that in Scotland that they have in Japan. That's where all of their training came from.
want
That's
I
where
miss
all of
ice
their
cube?
origins of the
need some
Japanese
ice?
Scotch came from. So it has that more Highland, as you're saying,
I'm not
feel
gonna,
to it.
you know,
Yeah, it will. A
Request a
Bicky,
parlay just
Love
yet.
it.
yeah, I mean, that's a great one. My neighbor, his girlfriend is from Japan, so they go back and bring some stuff back every now and again. So it's good. So I get to try some of that. So it's good. It's awesome.
The world's blown up. There's so many options. You can every day you go to the liquor store.
Nobody's going to sleep tonight.
Yeah, no.
I
We're
feel
all
like
going to stay up.
I feel like shots were fired on this one, Charlie.
Well. So
Yeah, y'all
what's
fire
up
me
with
each
you
other.
guys? So Nick's in town, first time meeting you. Great. What's just kind of making rounds, seeing
Yeah,
everybody?
I mean, it's been a great, as bad as it's been for the world. Cigar smokers have really kind of rediscovered their love, or new people have fallen into cigars now, and so it's fun to go around all across the East Coast and see how things have changed. So I've been able to go to a lot of shops and meet a lot of new people and see what's going on. So Carol Lee is a monster out here. She's a legend, and then figure I'd just come ride her coattails for a couple of days.
Infamous.
Notorious,
It's
yeah,
kind of
whatever
a
the word
big
you
deal.
want.
You ask her.
I'll tell you. No big deal.
Nick, you know it's bad when I go to work. And was Carol Lee at the podcast? Is Carol Lee gonna be on the podcast? If Carol Lee's gonna be on the podcast, then I'm gonna watch the podcast.
Wow.
I'm like, shut up, will you? Just shut up.
Wow.
Yeah, we missed her for a couple weeks there.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we had to go. I told her to go get a plunger. For the sinus infection. Oh, hey, Carol Lee.
Are you gonna have room? Is this table gonna have to get enlarged to fit her ego, or is it gonna
We got two. We can push them together.
We're good. They got a wheelbarrow in the back just in case I throw my back out carrying it around.
So yeah, Nick, we've noticed at least in our spot a lot of new cigar smokers, but also and we talk about this a good bit. People just want to get out. They want to see each other. They want to have a conversation, and stop being in the house, stop being closed in, stop wearing a mask. Let's all get out and enjoy life. And a lot of people are finding that this is a great way to do that.
I think a lot of folks were, when you take their vacations away from them and you take their big adventures away from them, they kind of focused on these smaller things, these little getaways that we get for an hour with a cigar or with a nice drink or whatever. And what's been cool is as the world has loosened up a little bit and people have been able to sort of re-engage in the real world, they haven't forgotten about this. And so
Well, it's a
yeah.
mental health thing. I mean, people are self-medicating, and some ways are unhealthy, and other ways are much more constructive. And this is a very constructive. We're starving for human contact. I mean, we're not meant to be stuck in a room 8 by 10. To
Well,
me, this is a logical step.
And it's great. The thing I always felt about cigar places, because I used to run one myself, is that there's like a filter at the front, and it filters all the BS out, and we're united by this. So we may have different opinions about things, but it allows everybody to kind of have that unifying thing. And I tell you what, you're right. As far as the therapy side of it goes, it's invaluable, necessary.
Absolutely.
Especially the traffic that we engage coming here.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I'm telling you, a horrible accident on 485 today.
I heard.
We were coming the other way from where you guys came. We came from the north. I don't know where you came from, but we were from the Huntersville area coming in, and we happened upon it. I don't think it had been over maybe 30 or 45 minutes.
Really?
And half of the car, literally the entire engine block, everything was, and the front wheels were on one side of the road. The other part of the car, which were the front and back doors,
It ripped
and
it
the
in
trunk,
half.
yes, it was on the other side
What did they hit?
of the interstate.
Or what hit them?
I don't know. There was another car they were both turned in the wrong direction. And the other car was off to the side of the road in the wrong direction. The way that I see this happening is somebody hit them into
hydroplaned
the
it or something.
guardrail,
Yeah.
and the guardrail tore it and spun it, and they spun over there. That's the only way I could figure it happened. But it stopped traffic in both directions. I mean, rubbernecking and all that, but this one I could actually
Wow.
get because it was
Somebody didn't make it away from that.
no.
That's terrible.
That was terrible. But it obviously made traffic terrible coming in. So hopefully everybody will be safe. The rain's getting ready to end. We have a cigar event tonight. It's not General Cigar, sorry. But Alec Bradley will be here from 6 to 9 tonight. So hopefully everybody will be able to come in. We already got one here. I know he's here for that. So that'll be fun tonight. So everybody get up, come in, have a dry place, smoke a cigar, have a drink, and have fun. Try another cigar you may have never tried.
See, I'm okay with you cheating on me because I know Alec Bradley's your side chick. I'm your real deal.
You my main squeeze. Kidding me?
So I'm not jealous. I'm good.
Don't be,
No.
I'm not.
because yours is coming up.
I
Yeah.
know. I know. We got,
I'm not talking about May.
Oh.
I'm talking about after May.
oh,
Yeah, so clear your dance card, ma'am.
all right.
We got a lot of great events coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys you've been pretty steady, like giving a good break. You're doing them more than once a month, aren't you?
We get 1 to 2 a month. We need to do another cigar bourbon tasting.
Those are a hoot, by the
They
way.
are so much fun.
Probably get it
Charlie
in
and I
before.
pair up with his partner Troy, and we do. They are so much blind tastings.
Do you choose anything other than Diablo for these things?
A lot of these people are kind of new to it, so I want them to have a wonderful experience so that I can get them to this level.
We've done.
You can't run a marathon right out the gate.
It's
You gotta
usually
do some,
the Macanudo line.
Macanudos.
Yeah.
I think we did punch. The other punch, like, didn't we do one on the last tasting? Was
Yep,
punch?
we did a punch. But it's really fun because you give him an opportunity, especially on the bourbon side. He's got the full spectrum. Some really high end stuff, some of the less expensive, and see where people place it. It's pretty surprising.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We always like to tell this story. The first time we did this, a year and a half ago now almost, and the first one we had Buffalo Trace, Makers, Eagle Rare, and Blanton's. Nice lineup, right?
Oh yeah,
Over half the room picked Benchmark.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
really?
Their
No.
benchmark sales went through the roof.
That's what you want to
So
see.
we ended up making it our house bourbon.
And now you can't get it.
Now
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
now
get it.
it's all sold.
Who makes it? Is it the same distillery?
Buffalo
Yeah,
Trace.
Buffalo
Okay,
Trace
it's all
makes
Buffalo
it.
Trace.
And it's just younger.
Hey,
You know,
Tater.
I don't think I've seen Bench.
Tater in the house.
It's a lot of people
$12 a
overlook it
fifth.
because it's on
Gotta
this
love
shelf.
that.
Yeah.
There's gold down there, by the way.
Yes.
There is.
Yeah.
There is some gold down there.
Yeah.
Like
If you can get some very old Barton, or you can get some some Benchmark. Oh my God.
I even think the early times bottled at Bond is really good. If you're in Kentucky, they have that Heaven Hill, the green bottle, with the handle.
absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the fun, because why do you need to spend $100? It's like we make a $100 cigar, but we're more excited about finding that $12 cigar that's going to change your life. So
Or the $5 cigar. I mean,
Exactly.
they're in fairness, in that weight class, there's a lot of cigars that surprise people when you don't have a band on it and they have nothing to compare it to other than the real taste on their palate. I love it.
We had the Kung Pao. Great example.
That was fun.
Of a value, just a lot of value in that cigar. It's just got good taste. It's great value. People are really surprised when they smoke it because everybody equates price to quality, and that's just not the case.
No.
That's so true.
We if anybody knows me, like Punch is my brand. I know we're not supposed to have favorites in the family, but Punch is my favorite kid. And we have a new brand manager for Punch, so looking forward to some new exciting stuff and some energy brought back to that brand because it's kind of been left to its own devices. So hopefully he'll be riding with me at some point.
That'd be exciting.
yeah, I mean, we have a lot of fun with them. Like, you know, you look at Punch, look at Sierra. We're very playful. We have a lot of fun with those lines. I mean, the Kung Pao and the egg roll and all that. The Ed Lehman had done some amazing stuff with that. And I think each person that comes to these brands wants to put a little bit of themselves into it. I mean, just like, you know, what we had with CAO, the evolution. So, and I know why you're like, because he's a full-bodied cigar smoker, so it's right up your alley.
My people.
No, but that's the thing too. It's like, if you're buying cigars based on the price point, what I'm
You're
saying,
gonna
like,
miss out.
like trying to buy a high-end cigar just because you feel. I mean, no, I mean, like you think about it. When I fell in love with cigars, it was unexpected that worked. You know, you're smoking something and you find, oh my God, it's only $5, $6. You know,
How
it
good?
shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. I mean, and then it creates that rift between, okay, this is my special occasion cigar, but this is a communal thing. We just want to hang out and have a good time, and there's a million great options out there. I mean, everybody is making great stuff. It's better than it's ever been.
Nick's smoking the Mortal Coil, by the way, which is another great cigar that we've had in here.
He's doing the. Oh, you want that? No, you can't have that.
Right.
This
Those
is the
are yours,
Glengarry
asked,
leads.
right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think it'll come back. I think you know, fingers crossed. I think you may get another crack at it. So
I have not smoked the Firewalker yet. As of
Really?
yet.
Velvety outside. It's really great
Really?
feel to it. It's kind of a silky feel. I like it. I mean, it's a smooth cigar. It's probably medium plus.
Okay.
A little bit.
I think it's more complex to me than this. This
It
is
is.
meaty and earthy and raisin, kind of a raisin bomb. The Firewalker is nuanced, and it's got a little
More subtle notes to it.
Yeah, and you know, when you first light it up, you're trying to get the vibe of it, and over the course of the smoke, it's like, oh, there's a lot going on here. But it's a different, and that ring gauge is a little bit bigger, so you're not getting as much of the wrapper when you
Right.
start off. But it's an interesting project, and I'm sure that whatever they got cooking for the third installment, because it's a trilogy, will be unique.
Now, last week we smoked the new Knuckle Buster Maduro, and I was really impressed. I mean, it's not that it's a full body cigar by any stretch of the imagination, but the evenness of it, and it is a nice middle of the middle smoke,
Right.
and yeah, I'm a huge fan.
I have a
so
feeling
I
it's gonna be-
Shanghaied some from Nick
Yeah,
because all mine are gone.
I think I didn't know what to expect with that because there's a lot of Maduros out there. And when I started smoking, the idea of a Maduro was just classical. You know, the little sweeter, the chocolatey. And I love that. And I still crave that. This hits some of those notes for me.
Yeah, it's a great one. We got that one in Humidor.
So funny
it's a good one.
story. I came in here Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I stopped in Saturday, and I actually sent T this picture. So think about this. I had smoked the Diablo before I ever had smoked the first Fat Bottom Betty.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
had that one Saturday for the first time ever. I was like, you know what? I just want something just fun.
Do
Like
you
just
feel
sweet.
dirty now?
I do. I feel like,
Okay,
oh
all
man,
right.
I
He
got
didn't
That
finish
is-
it, so just to let you know, but he had to go.
Yeah.
So it was his birthday
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Happy
So
birthday.
so he had made something special for Jack.
Yeah.
Jack's birthday was Sunday. Jack turned 21.
Nice.
So Charlie wanted to
Sorry for
deliver
the
that.
belated present. You're very welcome.
So we had a cigar together.
We did.
Enjoyed that, and he's like, "What can I try? I haven't had a flavored cigar." I said, "Look, by
You don't wanna
far
go
the
full,
most."
Don't go full crazy. You know, you got to do like Fat Bottom Betty is okay because
Yeah.
it's not full crazy.
No. He said by far the number one seller out of
I
that,
didn't
of
say
that cabinet over
anything
there.
Yeah.
about it other than it's a number one seller. So you have to have the Fat Bottom Betty because you got to try it.
Yeah.
I tried it once.
Yeah.
You know, I can understand why it sells a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand a lot of flavor. It's sweet, easy.
It is.
It's got a little
Cotton
pepper
candy.
to it.
It's cotton candy on the lips.
It
I mean,
is.
it really
Yeah.
is.
It
And-
is.
But you're right, Brian. My palate was I'm
You're beyond that.
so and I
the
had
training wheels are off.
so I had a picture. I took a picture of the cigar with the pour I had, and I just did my go-to Buffalo Trace. So I figured this is sweet, sweet. I was just in the mood for sweet, right? This is
You
birthday.
want a birthday cake?
I want a birthday cake. And
So
Yeah.
your day continued. So you left
yeah,
right around 3,
yeah.
and you had to get to your dinner. So tell us about that.
I was blown away. So it was really a cool day. I had phone calls from both of my sons early, before lunchtime. And it was kind of odd because typically it's later in the afternoon. But so both the sons called, FaceTime me, got to see the grandkids, the grandson, granddaughter, and that was all real cool. And then I came here and had a cool little smoke and met with Brian. And we had dinner reservation. My wife and I went to dinner to a place I've been to Charlotte all my life, and I'd never been to this place. It's Beef and Bottle, right?
I haven't been there either. I've heard a lot about it.
So we go there, checked in. Oh yeah, Mr. Wilkerson, fine, come on in. Well, hang on a minute, let me go. Then he came back, got our menus, walked us to the table, set the menus down, said your server will be with you in a moment. We sat down at the table. I'm still looking around the room doing this, I'm just kind of observing. I want to check everything. It's real dark in there. It's kind of old school, like steakhouse, right? And so anyway, I look down at the table, and there is this big shrimp cocktail and a glass of bourbon sitting on the table. And I looked at my wife, and I was like, did he put us at the right table, right? I'm thinking to myself, is this the right table? A few minutes later, the waitress comes up. She said, hey, welcome to Beef and Bottle. Want to get your drinks? And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, are we at the right table? Because this stuff was already here when we sat down, and we haven't ordered. And she looked at me, and she just smiled. She said, well, Mr. Wilkerson, a gentleman had called ahead of time and ordered this, and he said, make sure it's on the table when he sits down. And I was like, okay. And she said, yeah, the gentleman, his name is Matt. And I was like, that's my son, my oldest son. So I looked at my wife, and I was like, so that parent dad thing, check that box, because that's number one son right there, right? So I took a picture of it, texted him, because they were visiting friends in California, and I said, thank you very much, son. I really appreciate this. And so it was a big deal. So
That's really cool.
So I didn't ask, when you told me the story previously, I didn't ask about what was the bourbon.
and oh, by the way, I can send you the picture, but it was in a regular cocktail glass. I mean, we're talking about 3 fingers high. And I was like, whoa. So anyway, it was he didn't know. He's not a bourbon guy. And it was the Knob Creek Rye, which is a phenomenal pour.
Yes.
It is
Knob
a great
Creek,
pour.
baby.
So
That's my go-to.
If you can get a Knob Creek Rye, which we have a hard time finding around here.
yeah.
You can get Knob Creek all day long. I got a Knob Creek 15-year from a guy recently, man. It'll hurt your feelings, by the way.
Their barrel
Really?
picks are the best.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, when you go to a shop that's bought a barrel, it blows everything else away.
Oh yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is special. And they said, because I spent a lot of time in Tennessee and in Louisville with the region that we're in. It's amazing how old some of the liquor is in those. If it says 15, inevitably there's 19. I mean, like
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
It's like Scotch, where the age statement is the youngest.
The
you know?
youngest in the
It's crazy.
So yeah, we had a great dinner, and I'll tell you, food quality.
Amazing.
I mean, this is I would stack that up to I've been to Fleming's, I've been to Capital Grille, I've been to Del
Webb's.
Frisco's, Webb's. Food quality's, I mean, right at the top end.
Whee!
Starting to rain.
It's
Wow.
raining.
And so wife and I walked out of there, and I tell you, for the 2 of us for dinner, I've spent that for 1 person at Capital Grille.
Really?
What?
Good
What-
bang for your buck,
Very,
too.
very reasonable priced deal, and food quality and ambiance and all that. It's kind of old
So
school.
you sat in the older section,
Yeah, up front.
which is important. So if you go and ask for a reservation, request to sit in the front section. Not that the back section is bad, but the front is that old school, old wood tables, the dim lights.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the
Real dark.
whole
That's
atmosphere,
cool.
and I think that is what makes it so unique compared to Capitol Grill, Ruth's
The
Chris.
chain is this
Yeah.
a chain too?
No,
No, no.
Okay.
locally owned for
And
50
they're-
plus years.
They're aging
Nice.
their own and cutting their own. Same deal. I mean, it's well, I take that back. Not a dry age. She said, no, they do wet age, and I'm not sure what. I'm not the aging.
I've heard
Yeah.
it too. I don't want to know how
Sounds
the
like a
sausage is made. I just want it to be good.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds like some kind of marinade
Like when
or
I
something.
eat it,
you would think.
I want it very tender, and when I put it in my mouth, I just want to go.
Did you get
Wow.
the Delmonico? Which one did you get? The ribeye, the filet?
No, she actually got me convinced that I really should try that prime rib. She said because their prime rib is like when it's sold out, it's gone. And
Yeah.
she said we have a few left, and I was like,
I'm in.
You're my expert for the night, so I'm going back for a steak, right, regular.
But the prime
Pretty
rib,
cool.
as she said, I love a place that runs out. You know it's fresh. You know they made it that day. You know
Right.
that
They're turning it.
they're turning that out. So, everybody likes it.
Oh yeah.
And it's quality, and you know it's going to be the right cut. You know, and that's important. But if you do go back, get the Delmonico.
My
It's very
question
good.
is Brian's name on the wall at any point in there?
No,
They don't have that.
I didn't
So
see it.
I was talking to Nick about trying to go to Webb's Custom Kitchen for dinner tonight, and you know we don't know the president of this fine United States to get us into there, and those plans were already made. But Mr. Brian here is on the wall several times.
Well, I'm on there twice. And you're on there twice, right?
I'm on there twice too.
Yeah, so we're on there twice. It's a 40 ounce porterhouse that you eat. And,
40 ounce. I go.
Color
"Isn't
me
that
unsurprised
Cute? Isn't
with
that
Carolee."
cute?
Now here's the thing though. So Carolee always has to be one more up, right?
Yeah.
So it has
One up him.
So I talk about this, and I said we had a great bottle of wine,
He
and but
texted
I
me
did
in the middle of dinner with the
with the picture
yes.
of my name written on the thing.
So
I'm going on
he's
the wall,
calling
right?
the ball.
I am.
So I got to respond.
You gotta
But-
know your enemy is you can't compete.
Oh yeah.
But well, here's what what ups me. So I said, I didn't have anything else to eat but the steak because I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I didn't want to not finish it, because I was too full. Tell him what you did. So go ahead.
So yeah, so we as a group order appetizers. I eat the appetizers as individual, and it was like 3 or 4 like family size appetizers. Eat all those. Eat all the steak. Then eat over somebody else's leftovers, and then had a couple of desserts.
So there you go. She's going to eat appetizers.
Hollow
She's
legs.
going to eat dessert, but she's going to also eat the 40 ounce
So
porterhouse.
my first social experience with Carolee was at the trade show, and we went to a steakhouse with a couple of my accounts when I was a PSM as well. And we went to a steak place, and she ordered the tomahawk, as she is wont to do. And 2 other guys ordered the tomahawks, except those 2 other guys, both former military badasses as well,
Dainty fellas.
Dainty fellas.
did not finish their tomahawk. So Carolee was kind enough to finish hers and theirs.
You gonna eat that? There's no shame in my game.
So it was
Uh-uh.
at
We're not
least
taking that home.
at least
No.
a tomahawk and a half.
Hey, there ain't no doggy bags here.
No,
Give
no,
it
no,
here.
no.
Give it up.
Nick,
love it.
I mean, it's insulting. You can't leave a fine cut of steak like that
And
sitting on
who
the
would have
table.
thought she's a 13-year-old boy?
I know, right?
And
I
this
eat
is what
my
I don't
emotions.
understand. This is what I see: hair and boots. There's nothing in between it.
She works hard to maintain. I mean, she's
Like-
she's forgotten more about taking care of herself than we'll ever know.
I eat
don't
my
get it.
emotions. It's totally healthy.
So we had
We know.
there was a guy that came in. He's, relatively tough guy, like, persona, right? So he starts telling me about his hip replacement surgery, right? And I'm listening to this guy tell me how bad it is. Oh man, I'm still limping around. It's been 6 months. I can't, And all I could think is, do I tell him the story of Carolee?
Oh, jeez.
And I decided not to. I got to save his manhood a little bit. But I wish you'd have been here
Oh, I'd
to
have been.
listen, because I just go, oh man, that's terrible. I know this lady, Carol Lee, was running 2 miles 2
Oh,
into her
don't say,
reconstruction
"Hey,
of her hip.
Tim.
If this were the scene in Jaws, you would have had Quint crying.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got not much sympathy
So
there.
let's talk about this. cigar.
How is it for you this time? You seem like you're doing much better.
This has been like
Delightful, isn't it?
Yes. No, just saying. So we got about, I don't know, I'm not even halfway yet, but the first third here has just been like whatever. I'm sure when I get to the back third, it's going to like,
It cooks up a little bit towards the last third, but it's nothing like, you know, I mean, you're not going to get hit with a freight train.
okay.
But it's the flavor is to me much better
Just stick around
getting
for a
it in the
while.
middle half.
Okay. Stick around.
I mean, I like the beginning, but this is more flavorful to me. It's got,
Don't try
it's
to
got
drive
a little more,
lower.
maybe chocolate,
Yeah.
maybe some wood in there. I think it's much better towards
This
the
is
middle.
what I really liked about this one was I get chocolate, dark chocolates in this, in the notes in the back. This,
Well, I want to say the first one that we did smoke was the Brute, which is the bigger ring gauge. Now this is the Toro size, which is you're going to get more of that ratio where it should be, in my
Okay.
humble opinion. I like the wrapper. I think it brings a lot to the table. All I can say is I love this cigar.
I mean, there's a. I know it's supposed to be strong, powerful, full body, but I swear there's a hint of sweetness to that. Every
Yeah,
time I
it's-
take a good draw.
I agree.
Right on the outside of your
Connecticut
tongue.
Yeah.
broadleaf to me brings some of that.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we're not trying to concuss people. You know, we still want it to be a flavorful experience. So that's a balance that they were intentionally trying to strike. You know, you see the name Diablo, you see the name AJ Fernandez on the box, and you're expecting to get kneecapped. And I think there is an element of that when you light it up, but it develops so nicely. That's why the
It's-
last third to me is my favorite part of that.
And it
cigar.
is. I think it has everything to do with the balance.
Yeah.
You know, we've smoked cigars that are really heavy on that Lajero, really spiced, but they don't have the body to back it up, and it's kind of come away in not a happy place. I mean, you could smoke it and you go, okay, I appreciate parts of this, but to me, it's the song. I mean, it's all the notes on this that come together right where they're supposed to be, and you know, it hits all parts of my palate in a very satisfying way.
I like this one because you said it's very balanced. Unlike, I mean, we've had some other what I call was the full side. I don't remember which one it was. A few weeks back, the peppery. It was just peppery, hot,
And it kind of blows your palate for even afterward.
And
You're
I
like,
got down to the last third, and I said, you know what? I'm tapping out.
I'm
You know,
good.
I just said I'm tapping out.
and what's weird about it is like we've had much milder cigars where that spice was so overpowering that it wasn't a good. It's not a satisfying.
Right. Right.
I'm starting to find out that the Connecticut broadleaf,
It's magic.
it is special.
Right.
That is really when I find a cigar that's got that.
You gravitate
I
toward
do,
it now because
yeah,
you know what that
'cause it
brings
is.
to the table.
It does, and I encourage anybody, especially in the medium to full area, to start looking for that. It to me, I've developed into that, and it is. It's a really nice surprise. I
It's really
enjoy it.
fun, you know, the whole exploration of not only just the bourbons, but seeing it from your perspective, fairly new to the cigar side, to see where you find your happy ingredient.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't guarantee that is going to be the end all be all, but you start to try more of those things, looking for that same kind of experience. Like
Yep.
with me, with the rye,
Yep.
love rye.
What's your
So-
favorite rye?
So I would get into that. Well, so last night, so
I just got the Angel Envy rye.
Angel
might-
Envy.
Which one?
That might
Angel
be.
Envy Rye.
Oh,
That
God,
might
solid.
be.
Oh
That
my
might be
gosh.
because
You
it's just
finally
my.
break it open?
I did break it open.
Caramel, nothing but
Very much.
Oh my gosh, just
It's like a dessert.
it is.
Yeah, like it's scary because you start drinking that and you're like, oh, this is really smooth. This is really nice. And then you go to stand up, your legs are like, F you, I'm not.
The funny thing is, a lot of people
That's not happening.
a lot of people judge their first experience with the rye. Either they love it or they don't, and they don't go back. It's really
Right.
hard to get people to change their take, even though it's as versatile as bourbon. And the Bullet rye is a very grassy kind of traditional, and so a lot of folks, if they don't respond to that, they're not willing to embrace the myriad of great things that are out there. And there's
So we
golden
were lucky
whistles.
enough. While we were still in the Rona Roundup, he got us a tour at local bourbon places.
Some distilleries.
Some
here.
distilleries
Right.
here locally, and that was kind of really the first breakthrough for me of what I really liked. And it could have been that was our last stop.
No, no. You guys were doing really good. I mean, we were sampling and doing all that, but you guys really, I love to watch when I take people on a distillery
It's
tour.
fun.
They really soak in the experience. Like, we're going through the grain being ground up. We go up to the mash tubs and they see the big fermentators and all that, and then we go to the column still, the stills. It's really interesting.
So I was a huge
It's,
fan.
it's like
There's-
cigars because the process is similar, but there's always little nuances that make a great difference when you're actually
why it's an
experiencing.
art,
Yeah.
right? Like it's not just
Yeah.
some mass manufacturing
Yep.
kind of, But we went to Southern Star, which is,
Southern Distilling in Statesville.
yeah,
Good old Statesville, yeah, man.
which was the big deal before Kentucky was. And I had no idea the history locally are very deep
Yep.
rooted history.
I don't know that either.
Yeah, so we got the double rye, Southern Star double rye,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
That was her favorite, and that's she
Changed
came
my
away-
religion.
Amen, sister.
Yep, changed my
So,
religion.
so basically, when Prohibition came in, so you had all these distillers, and then of course moonshiners or whatever, but they were located in that area, the Statesville area, because of the minerals in the
Okay.
water, the lime,
Yeah.
etc. And North Carolina was the first to go into Prohibition and the last to come out of Prohibition. Well, everybody had to make a living, so they ended up migrating to Tennessee and to Kentucky. And that
They don't tell that story
water-
there.
Imagine that.
They do not. Yeah, Nick, the story was about the Statesville area was, and you have to think back, way back, Statesville was the last stop before you headed west. So, like, when you left there and going west, there was
hinterlands.
You're in wilderness.
Yeah.
And so everybody sort of congregated right there because that was like a major
Stopping
hub,
point.
if you will, hub. All the trading and all the stuff, and it was going through Statesville.
And it's funny when you go actually through the town of Statesville, you can see some of the history, like in the homes, gorgeous, like beautiful, monstrous estate homes, and they're in disrepair now because obviously that what was feeding that town has kind of moved on.
The
But
money left.
those homes, like the people that are starting to restore them,
Yeah.
they're like amazing.
My great aunt and uncle lived off Broad Street in Statesville. So you take a left, and there's these beautiful homes.
Yes.
That was my first experience growing up, was seeing these beautiful homes in that area, not knowing the history. Of course, textiles is going to play a part in that, but just the long history of just.
I mean, you
a
could
wealthy
tell there
town.
was a lot of wealth in that
But
town.
it's so strange because it's a business built on storytelling, and you have got a great story, and typically that's enough. Like you go to, I've done the Bourbon Trail a few times, and it gets samey sometimes when you go to like a bunch, and it's very similar stories a lot of the time. That's different.
See,
Yeah.
I haven't done that yet, but
We are gonna do a
plan
trip.
It's
Traveling
It's
roadshow.
special. It's special.
I
So
would
I might
take
be
you.
reaching out to you to help coordinate on the cigar side.
Okay.
Yeah,
we
we-
would take some. I want to take you guys and those that have been to the major. Like, I'll take you to places you ain't never been.
You know,
the small craft guys.
that's the best. Yeah. I mean,
Three Boys Distilling.
Three boys.
Three
Absolutely
boys.
on the bucket list.
Got to go
Never
to
heard
Three
of it.
Boys Distilling.
Really?
So,
Oh, yeah.
So the guy starts his business. He has triplets, three boys.
Yep.
And so they end up not.
his wife
getting
was
in
involved. I'm assuming.
at some juncture. And so that's the long and short, but it's a craft distillery. You go in, it's in a barn, and you've got 5 barrels sitting here, and they let you try them in a thief. So you get a thief, and you pull out the bourbon, you put it in a glass, you try it, then you pick which one you want, then you get to fill your own bottle. So they let you fill your own fifth with what you select.
That's not the place we saw you like awkwardly slurping out of a barrel,
No,
was it?
no.
That was a different place? Oh, okay, my bad.
That's what I-
So, do they have distribution widely? I've never heard
No.
of this guys.
no,
But it's great.
it is very good.
That's what you want. That's what you want is to be
The hard to find stuff.
have your ear to the
Oh, yeah.
pulse.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a cigar. I didn't have a lighter. Okay, so this is about the cigar community.
Yeah.
So we go out, the same distillery. They have a fire pit. It's kind of windy. It's cold. And we're all sitting around, and these guys light up a cigar. I'm like, man, you're killing me. He goes, oh, here. And he lights it up, man. We had a ball. and just they're from New York, and this couple was from Ohio, and just all over the country. We just got an opportunity just to talk, and it was fun.
That's this industry in a nutshell right there.
It is like you could have your last cigar and someone hasn't had it, you'll give it up without blinking.
Although I will tell you, I have been on the other side of that to where I brought my unicorns to an event, to a private family thing at a lake house, fire pit, everything's perfect. And I hand my unicorns out, and I watch somebody, well, this is good, 2 puffs into the fire.
Oh.
So every once in a while, it goes a different way.
That's
But-
why I have a muchador in the house for that purpose.
That's right.
The people that are like, oh, that's cool. I'd like a smoke, and you ask them what they want. They're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, go to that humidor, have at it. Because
So-
I've experienced that and almost like disown people.
So Jack has some friends, and they like to smoke cigars every now and again. And first time I gave them cigars, they were out of my humidor, and it was, Macanudo or what have you. And I go out, and they're finished. I'm cleaning up, and a couple cigars were smoked like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
and put out. Guys, look, if you're going to smoke a cigar, smoke a cigar. If you're not, then don't ask me.
Yeah.
If you want to learn how to do it, we can do it together. That's fine.
Or if you watch them grind it out,
Yeah.
oh,
It's just, anyways.
I have an
hurts
idea.
my
We
heart.
should come up with a cigar called the Placebo that has no flavor that we have for that purpose.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
The placebo.
I like that. That's good.
That almost that brings me back to one of mine when I was doing a holiday event, and we bring something to share with this holiday event, and I brought one of my nice bourbons, and I set it over on the table, and then I saw some people going over there, and they were picking up, and they were grabbing somebody else's bottle, and they made something.
Mixing it?
And so they poured their stuff in the tumbler, and then they grabbed the 2-liter Coke bottle and poured it.
Oh.
And I kid you not, I went over to the table, I took my bottle and put it under the table. I was like, you were not taking
You're like, you damn savages.
my
You're
damn good
embarrassing me.
bourbon and doing that to it.
If you've never had a Pappy and Mellow Yellow, you ain't living.
I shall never live.
Right. Right.
That is a sacrilege.
But
Hey, the Mook loves his Diet Mountain Dew and bourbon.
Does he really?
Yes, he does. He loves his Diet Mountain Dew
But
and
you
bourbon.
know what? There's no
we have
wrong
Diet
answers,
Mountain Dew
really.
just for him at the bar.
but you know what? Look,
I always
do
suspected he
that.
was one white picket fence away from being a serial
He
killer.
can
Now
do-
I have my proof.
Look, I'll
Takes
He
do
one
does
to
it
know
that.
both
one.
ways. Don't get me
You know,
wrong.
doing
That's
it
why we
with
bonded.
I'm up.
Diet Mountain Dew with their bourbon, though. That's a real popular thing.
Is
Is it really?
Well, do you know that Mountain Dew? This is Sierra, by the way. Do you know that Mountain Dew is actually made for drinking bourbon with it? That's why it was
No.
made. Mac tested
Shut
that.
your dirty pirate
Okay,
hooker
I took
mouth.
the wrong pill
no
in the Matrix
way.
just now. 'Cause my whole world is falling apart.
I know.
But I'm suggesting Jack Daniels, Evan Williams, Jim Beam. Okay,
No.
if you want to do that, do that.
a benchmark or something,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
Eagle Rare.
I-
Don't
and
do
not
that.
even mellow, like not even Mountain
No.
Dew, but Diet Mountain Dew?
Yeah, so you take a 20-ounce bottle of Mountain Dew and you drink it down
How
below the
could?
neck. Below
Hold
the
on,
neck.
Mac's going to clarify.
There is a there was a whiskey chaser. Yeah, it becomes a mixable. It's a quality.
Quality.
You can mix anything with.
There's nothing
that,
quality about
but
Mountain
don't
Dew.
mix anything with this.
Got you.
Okay.
It's
All right.
a taste thing.
So it was a bourbon chaser. 1932. Jack, let me just tell you about Jack. If you mention any subject, give him 2 seconds and he'll be able to go down a rabbit hole and find out everything you need to know about it. So in 1932, Mountain Dew was created as a chaser in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Cool.
There you go. See?
There you go.
If you're ever on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and you call somebody with all kinds of knowledge, it's Jack Huff. I'm just telling
Your
you.
lifeline,
That's
Jack.
your lifeline right there.
But I have done it. I've done it.
You-
Really?
I've done it. You get a 20-ounce Mountain Dew, and you drink it to the shoulder of the bottle, and then you take whatever bourbon and fill it up.
Was it a Mad Dog 2020, your
Oh,
chaser? or
Hell
what?
no, I ain't never drunk that.
Oh Lord.
I drank that when I was 16.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't want to drink again until I was 20.
One of my classmates
It was
taught
in
me
Bo-
about
in
Mad
Boone's
Dog.
Farm.
Disgusting. One One of my classmates taught me about Mad Dog, and you best believe after his experience, I didn't.
You're good?
I was good.
Yeah, okay.
Malt liquor in general. So we had Elephant Malt Liquor one time at a movie theater, and I think it was Halloween. It was in Chapel Hill.
That explains so much.
Gina was there.
The movie
My-
Halloween or the holiday Halloween?
No, it was around that time, but it was the movie.
Okay.
And we went to the movie theater. And we had
78.
Elephant Malt Liquor. No. Well, it couldn't have been. Halloween came out in 78.
78, 79, I think.
So it couldn't have been Halloween. It might have been Nightmare on Elm Street, something
Maybe
like
84.
that. Yeah, somewhere in there. So
He's our
I might
movie
call
savant.
you.
Yeah, he's the lifeline
if
when it
it's-
comes to movies.
He's the movie.
that-
I was a film critic
Jack's
for 20
over here
years.
fact checking as we
So,
go.
okay.
It's a rough. It's,
That's
We
Nick's
watched
factor.
roughly.
We watched a scary movie,
okay.
a horror movie,
How
and
scary was it? Super scary.
okay, so it was so good, I did not want
we
to
are
get
off the
up
rails at this point.
to go to the restroom.
Oh,
And if you have enough Elephant Malt Liquor, all reason goes out the door.
I hear you.
So you're looking at this
Been there.
container, and
Oh,
you're
God.
thinking, it went in me,
Oh, buddy.
so it's got to fit, right? I did not pass chemistry. Just saying.
Just saying.
It didn't work.
oh,
Didn't work out.
okay.
So let's just say don't have Elephant Malt Liquor at a movie theater,
Noted.
and you need to get up and you
Noted.
can't hit the pause. So I'm just saying,
Cool.
no more malt liquor for
Is
me.
there such a thing as elephant malt liquor still?
I would not know.
I've never heard of such a thing. It's
Elephant Malt Liquor. We got it at Fowler's in Chapel Hill.
wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, well, that's one of my shining moments.
So, Brian, you said
Right.
earlier, you were talking about the Connecticut broadleaf, right? And,
Yes.
And so you don't really know, never had it, but that's part of the cigar makeup, right? So I got to tell you this: we had a private tasting event last night for a client that hired us to come in. They picked the pours, they picked the bottles, and
Okay.
we show up, and they took a picture of what they were and everything. 3 of the 4 I'd never seen. I've seen them, but I'd never had them, right? And so I have to go off of what the things tell me. I look up
Right.
the mash bills and all that, and I have to go over the flavor profiles. So this was an interesting. We're drinking. You're talking about rye. So we had one last night. This is out of Burnt Church Distillery down in it's Bluffton, South Carolina. It's on the road
Great city.
going on the way to Hilton Head, right? Palmer Stretch. So this was very unique. This was a rye whiskey, 56% rye, but the second grain, instead of like being corn, typically you've got the corn is rye, corn, malted barley. This was wheat. Great pour. If you see it, it's worth getting.
Well, that's sort of
Burnt
Weller's
Church?
selling point, isn't it? The
It's
whole
called-
weeded thing.
Well, it was, and so I was saying, and I was telling the guys this. I was like, I don't know, guys. I'm going to give you what I believe we're going to get here on nose and palate and all because
Based on what the
based on
ingredients are,
grains
right.
and all, and I was pretty close,
Yeah.
pretty close on it. And the gentleman to my right, he had, well, this is a wheated rye, so we get wheated bourbon. I had never had a wheated rye. Think about that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a wheated rye?
I don't even know because they rarely would use that as a selling point, typically.
Super soft on the palate, but you still got the nice rye to it, right?
Yeah.
But the wheat softened it back, and without the corn being in there, you don't have that sweetness of corn that added. So it was Palmer Stretch. That was their brand
Okay.
for them. The other one I had which was another one, was a great. It was called High Rye, but Wyoming whiskey. Was another one. Was again, I had to go off of my thoughts and what
Based on what your
I
prior
know.
experience, right?
And then the third one was let's see, we had that one was Wyoming. What was the other one I had? Golly, I won't forget now. The one that I knew a lot about, Wilderness Trail, the Wilderness Trail rye, and I'd been to the distillery. Pat Heiss had walked me through
So
the
you
whole,
knew that one intimately.
and so I could talk to that one easy.
Wilderness Trail is the secret weapon. So I've been to Peerless, and Peerless they use the exact same process as Wilderness Trail, but when you're buying a bottle of Peerless, it's twice the price of a bottle of Wilderness Trail.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people, if you like Peerless, but you don't want to break the bank, go to Wilderness Trail.
Hey,
'Cause they're-
so you
it's
toured there?
I haven't toured there, but the guy, I had somebody in a high place tell me that is the same exact process.
So good guys. I've been there. Know Corky, the guy.
Magic.
This guy. So the fun part is, and I always love this one. And did we do this on one of ours? No, not here. But Peerless Corky's father.
It's great.
Corky's father was General Patton's right-hand man
Really?
through the war. 2 weeks
I'm a
before
huge Patton fan. Read a
2
lot.
weeks before Patton
Studied
was
his
killed,
stuff.
Patton gives Corky's father his pearl-handled revolver. He said, "Here, this is yours."
It's at the distillery.
Wow.
It's in
Is
his
it
office.
really?
He brought it out. It's in his office.
Yeah. So it's like,
Did you hear the other story about who his roommates were in college?
yes,
Who?
So Corky had 3 roommates in college.
two. There was 3
Well-
to a room. Him and 2 other guys.
Right, and there was another guy that was in that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was him and the Allman Brothers.
yeah.
But there was another guy in their
What a
dorm
fun time to be alive.
who
I mean,
was a
good
bit
Lord.
of a bit of a pain in their butt, and his name was Al Gore. So you want to talk about a microcosm right there? The Allman Brothers, Corky, and
Oh,
Al Gore.
Yeah.
Al Gore invented the internet.
Yeah, well, lucky.
Isn't
Yeah.
that what he said?
That's what
Yeah.
he said.
That's what he said.
So,
there
yeah.
you go.
And
I'm
Bear Pig.
and I'm 5'9".
Wait, what? That'd make me 6 foot tall.
He has on
But
boots.
you know, the
Heels,
fun
yeah.
part is it goes back to the whole thing. It's about stories, and how this all. And so the cigar thing, I've learned this. The cigar thing is just like bourbon thing.
It's so personal.
It's the stories. We get around, sit around, and talk about.
You definitely
Thanks.
you can't disassociate the feelings and the stories from any blend you get, because I'm pretty sure I've had the exact same blends with different bands on them, and I felt completely different about the smoke.
Yeah, that's what's fun. You know, it's and as much as we poke at each other, it's such a family. It's such a small knit community, all told. It's it's hard. You know,
We
and
were
it's-
talking about that
We're
earlier
all
today, how
underdogs. It's us
small
against
it
the
is.
world in a lot of respects. So it's kind of fun just to get folks together and BS. Like that's why I love when you bump into we bump into somebody from another company, and there's the playful ribbing, but there's also we're all facing the same direction at the end of the day, and it, we're all nomads. We like to try different smokes. We all I'm sure you're the same way. Whenever I'm in a town, I see what cigar places are there, and I love to see what they're doing. Same thing with booze. Like I'm always like, what's popular here?
So I love, even if it's not one of my accounts, I like going in there because it's almost like a treasure hunt. Some of these really old stores, I mean, they'll have stuff in there that they may not appreciate the value in it, but I empirically know, oh my God, you still have that? I mean, this is like the white buffalo.
We
I
get
mean,
so
or
caught
white-
up with now.
Yeah.
And you forget all the stuff that led to now and all the stuff that's coming down the pike. It's like just have
If
to.
I
open your
feel
mind.
like I need to have a hepatitis shot to go in this place, I am going in there and ruffling through to find, because they're going to have something in there that is so rare and so hard to find and just
And nobody else has
amazing.
it.
Yeah, nobody else has it, because people will look at that and just keep walking. I'm not scared.
It's
Yeah.
like the
I'm
place.
going in.
I'm going back. It's the place in right outside Wheat Ridge, between Wheat Ridge and Denver, Colorado. World class cigars.
Okay.
His dad owned it. He owns it, and it's maybe how big, Jack? Maybe 50 by 50.
It's like a shoebox.
Right. But, I'm going through it all, and he's got all the, normal stuff, and I'm
regular,
kinda
the
regular.
must-haves.
Yeah. And I go, hey, you got anything just you could recommend? And we got talking. I gave him a smoking barrel cigar, and we sort of talked. He said, yeah, hold on a second. So he goes under like 3 boxes and pulls out the good stuff, right? And I can't even remember what it is now.
Yeah.
But it was like, hold on a second, I got you.
They were hard to find when they came out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're there.
They just told me about that.
Yeah, Philly B is the one that told me about it.
Yeah.
He says happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to Philly B,
Yeah, man.
Very cool.
my family-in-law.
Yeah. The funny part is that you used to be able to do that in ABC stores and all. But with the way it's, and I don't think it's at this level with the cigars, but the way it is with these people that are roaming, they're on the hunt.
Oh yeah, they're like
And so,
cult following.
so you
where
used to
they'll
be
go.
able to, you roll up in some small town in Podunk, wherever, you walk into the liquor store local, and you walk in and you find something like, hell, I ain't seen this in
and
years.
they post something.
And so but that stuff's really gone now. So I'm gonna, on the trip out to Texas and back, we're driving, I'm gonna stop at some places, but I really don't think it's gonna be like it was like
Those days are over.
7, 8,
Yeah.
9,
They're-
10 years ago.
Well, the thing
People
is,
have
they're
cleaned them
forced.
out.
They're forced to jump through so many hoops to get the allocated stuff now, or the really fun stuff, that it's not in their best interest to just sneak it out there and reward your customers, because they jump through so many hoops to get it. They have to maximize that investment.
Right.
I've been to a shop in South Florida where they took me to a private warehouse where all the stuff they bought that they know they'll never sell exists, so they can get product X. And they put it all on the top shelf, and they have it at your secondary market prices, and it's just it's the nature of the beast now.
Yep.
So now that's why we were talking about these lower shelf things. That's where the joy is now, is finding those guys, because
It is.
Yeah.
getting an Elmer T. Lee at the $39, how it should be priced, or getting a Weller Antique at like $30 or $40, those days are over.
Yeah.
It's and I can't fault the retailers, because they have to buy a billion
Obscene
pallets
amount of
some
stuff
vodka
to
they
get
don't
it.
even care about.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
it's the way of the world.
I
you
mean,
know?
like Moorhead, he is a collector. He's got some rare stuff. I hope he showed you.
He did not.
There's nothing better though than getting that
But I
and
now know.
opening it and sharing
He
it
is a
right
collector
away.
of
Yeah, oh,
rare
yeah.
and
That's what it's
unique
Yeah.
items.
Philly B, go to Moorhead Smoke Shop, cigar shop, and ask William for the special collection.
Yeah, he's got some.
So it's like
pretty
30
rare-
minutes from Philly B. So he'll
Oh, is
he'll
he
go.
really?
Yeah. That's who I went
Okay.
there with.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only got a couple of accounts that I ever since I've been in this territory, which is 5 years now, as of last week, hit 5-year mark. They make a point of getting the hard to get stuff, and they kind of hang on to it. They don't put it out in the market. They want to hold on to it for 4 or 5 years before they re-release it, because they know by then it'll be completely gone from the market.
Smart.
There's a shop in Atlanta that has 2 humidors, and the lady who owns it just puts it all out there, and you have to go on an archaeological expedition. And every once in a while,
Magic.
you'll find something
Want
that's long out of production. So that's part of the fun. It's-
We gotta get Jack to taste the.
Mr. 21
Mr.
and
21 is now eligible to start
partaken.
partaking and testing out what we're testing.
The sad thing is,
he's
is
having his first drink ever.
Yes.
his talent is probably way
Yes,
more
Dad.
than
I've never drank before, and so
Being recorded, so.
yes. So we go. So first thing, he always wanted E.H. Taylor small batch, right? So I have a bottle I've saved, and so the night before we're going out, he's not feeling well. So go ahead, Jack. This is Jack. This is Jack. So I go, okay. I'm gonna
drink
pour
from
us
the
a
open
drink.
end.
We're gonna drink, E.H. Taylor small batch together before we go out to your birthday dinner. It is beautiful.
Isn't it though?
And Jack all of a sudden is not feeling well. So he breaks out in a sweat. It's not about the drink, it's just something else. And he has one sip of it. He's like, oh man, that's really good. Well, he couldn't drink the rest, so
Well,
I had to
take-
finish it
take
for
one
him.
Jumped on the
team.
grenade, sweetie.
Good.
So his
Dad.
his buddy gets in 4 roses, small batch Jack or single barrel? Small batch.
Oh wow.
And this was like on his birthday or whatever, so that's like March 21st or 13th. So today is the 16th, and she goes upstairs. I'm cleaning Jack's room, and that bottle of 4 roses is gone.
That damn evaporation.
It evaporates. That stuff does evaporate.
It
I-
does. I
It's a
agree.
high evaporation process.
It's pretty, it hits you.
That's what I said.
Don't let it hit you too much. You still got to go to work today.
I wasn't sure how this would work out, but
I think it actually, the pairing is actually,
I love this because I can get that cigar and I'm getting through the half, but I get a sip of this and this malt and all this goes right up over the top, not in a bad way,
yeah.
but it
It's great.
So
pairing.
they're not equal. There's this, and I was kind of hoping I would be the other
The
way.
other way
I
around.
thought the cigar was going to be here, and I'd be like right around there with that pour.
But this pour is staying on my tongue, like
Very
you know.
savory.
So when I get
Big
a
long finish.
cigar
It
in
just,
there, it just mixes
Yep.
really well because it doesn't just go down my throat and I'm done. It hangs around, which is great.
and I think it's good that we get outside of just all bourbons all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Or rye, and we don't do
Although
enough.
I was
Probably
a huge fan of that fistful.
the fistful.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Yeah, well, we killed that bottle.
It
Yeah.
evaporated. I have no idea what you're talking about.
The fistful was
So
incredible.
we
Fistful
had
of
the
bourbon.
Knuckle Buster and the Fistful bourbon. We were
Five.
had
It was a
theme
blend
going
of 5 bourbons they put together and blended together.
Where's
It was-
it based out of?
Yeah.
It was really.
We'll edit that in.
It was really mellow,
Yeah.
actually. Like it was a super
Really?
super mellow. Yeah, it actually worked really good because that Punch Knuckle Buster Maduro isn't an overly strong cigar.
all,
So it was. I mean, he like tongue in cheek. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna go with the the fist and the knuckle thing kind of.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with the theme there,
Yeah, we did,
and
and it worked.
it worked great."
I used to always feel like one of them two should do the heavy lifting, whether it be the beverage or the cigar. But to me, it's like that. It's like I like it when it's a tug of war between the two sometimes,
Agreed.
and that's what's happening here. I mean, I'm having a different cigar, but there's definitely a tug of war going on, and it's awesome.
And it's funny when people always ask you, what should I pair with this? It's kind of it's like trying to grab a puff of smoke. I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
I definitely know people that want one to be clearly the leader in that chorus. And to me personally, I like them when they're more evenly matched. I want it to one to stand up to the other. I don't want to have it so overpowering that you kind of miss out the experience of the other part of that.
Right.
Yeah, you're spending too much time chasing that perfection rather than enjoying the experience, and it's like,
Yeah, so it's kind of a very personal experience.
The bourbon dinner we did the other week did a bourbon dinner with our friends out at 73 in Maine, and so I knew we had so the main course, the entree was going to be steak. It was going to be a Kansas City cut steak, and so I had paired up. I forget what I paired up with it. It was a rye. But anyway, here's what happened. I didn't know that the I didn't really read through it, but I knew it was going to work well with the beef. But it was a peppercorn glaze that they put over it. So what happened was with the pour, and I think this is the one time I think I've really missed it with a pairing. The peppercorn amplified the pepperness in the
So
pour.
it was like, ugh.
And it was like
Over the
whoa.
top.
And I missed it. I mean, I told Troy, we were sitting over there and we were kind of had the group, and I was like, oh, sheesh, Troy, I missed this one. And I said right this quick, what I should have put with this peppercorn glaze and all would have been like Woodford Double Oak
which is magic.
with sweetness and all, because
To
what happened was
balance
the
it.
pepper just went, and I was like, so I told the people, I said, hey, look, and everybody was like, and I could look at their faces, and it was like, wasn't working. I said, here's what you need to, just get something, a spoon or something, throw a couple drops in, and bring that down, and then we got into where we needed to be, really made it work.
Yeah, I could see that being an issue where you have really predominant flavor profiles and you get the same flavor
Yeah.
profiles. And we're like,
I'm
ooh.
glad you mentioned Woodford too, because a lot of folks are snobby against some of the larger brands, the more familiar brands. Same thing with our cigar side. Like the thing is, the reality of those bigger companies are able to age properly. They have the access to the best stuff, and when they're good, they are so good. And
Right.
that double oaked is
One of the
gold
best.
standard,
Yeah, it is.
Hall of Fame.
That's for me. That's like one of my dessert pours.
Really?
It's just so caramely. It's so sweet. It's just
That is not in my selection yet. Just saying.
It's
We got it right over there. We'll try it after the podcast.
you have the double up.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think.
Cool.
I mean, they've been out of
Stubbier
double oak.
bottle.
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah, I see it.
You have Burning Chair.
Yes.
That's one of my babies right
Burning
there.
Chair, yep.
That's one
His
of my
selection is impressive.
Burning Chair is
Just
like
say-
the sleeper of all sleepers.
It's a go and you try to get people to try it, and they do, and then they love it. And
I
it's
mean,
just-
And then you can't
it's
get
Orin
it anywhere.
Swift.
It's
So
not
if they like wine, it's an Orin Swift product. So anybody who loves wine knows Orange Swift. So that approach to bourbon is a no-brainer, and the fact that they age it in either Grenache or Cabernet barrels, 85 proof.
Yeah.
Who is? I mean, there's the guys that only drink high proof stuff, and more power to you. But to me, the playful areas, if you could pull off an 85 that's like appealing to people that are snobs and people that that want to dabble, magic.
Yeah, it
Do
is.
you want to give them the teaser on the Punch Cigar City?
Sure.
They have not heard
So,
anything about that
so
yet.
are you familiar with Cigar City Brewing?
Yes.
So we have created a punch that's meant to pair with their Maduro. It's not a Maduro cigar; it's a Habano Puro, really. But we partnered with Cigar City Brewing, and we're going to have a cigar for brick and mortar shops. It's only available to places that sell beer and wine, and it's a lovely medium-bodied stick. It'll be hitting in the next few weeks, I'm thinking, and it's awesome.
Ooh,
Sounds
Brian,
good to me.
get your order in.
Got it in right here.
We got the order in. Awesome. I
got
love
the
it.
Well, guys, this has been a great conversation. We appreciate Nick from General Cigar coming, our regular crew here. We had a great time. We've got Alec Bradley tonight at the bar from 6 to 9, so they'll be here. So come on out. You can get some good cigars while they're here. We have Buff Dillard tomorrow night with Jazz Night and St. Patrick's Day. We're going to carry over St. Patrick's Day till Friday, so everybody can sleep in on Saturday, and we'll
St.
have
Patty's Day.
Hey, and we have DJ Yeti coming out Friday night, so we got a lot coming up. Thanks, guys. Great
Thank you.
time. Great time. Appreciate you joining us.
Nick, glad you came in
Thanks
and
so
dropped
much.
Good to
visit.
see you, man.
You too.
What's the best cigar you have,
The
Carolyn?
one I'm having right now with my friends.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Appreciate you joining us.